Hello guys, I am back today welcoming you all with this. Right in front of us we have one of the most special cars ever made, and in today's video I want to give you a full tour showing you all the exterior highlights. Afterwards we'll be checking out the inside, but before we do that we will be talking mainly about the history of this car. We are right now at the National Auto Museum here in Dietz-Hölztal in Germany. It's a private collection. At this point, special thanks for letting me film here at their exhibition. They are now officially closed, but with the start of the season in March 2024 they will be reopening the exhibition, and there is so many cool cars to see, especially Mercedes-Benz vehicles. As you can see, the AMG 1, we have a CLK GTR Coupe and a CLK GTR Roadster right over there. SLR Sterling Moss, we have a 300 SL on the top over there, and a lot more special cars. Porsche 959, we have the 190 Evo 2, as you can see, and a lot of things you can discover. But we will be mainly focusing on the Maybach Exelero, and we will be talking about the car and the history of this car. So this car was actually presented to public in 2005. This is a one-of-one build, and it's a project in cooperation with Maybach and Fulda. Fulda and Maybach have been working together since 1930s. You all know Maybach, but Fulda is a tire company in Germany. They are part of Goodyear now, and back in the days they wanted to build a one-of-one car to actually demonstrate the power and performance of their high-speed tires. So they did that with this car here in specific, with the V12 bi-turbo Maybach Exelero. It's based on the 57S model, as you can see in the back. That's actually a coupe. We'll be talking about that in a minute as well. But what they did is, back then they actually drove this car in Nardo in Italy, and they did a high-speed record run doing 350 kph, I think 351 kph. Klaus Ludwig drove the car back then, and it's so impressive. Imagine, the car weighs around about 2.7 tons, and they did a 0 to 100 run in 4.4 seconds. It's super impressive when thinking about back in the days. In general, I have to tell you, the car was built by a concept car building company called Stoller in Italy. So what they did is they built this car on base of the 57S. The design is made by the University of Pforzheim. They've actually designed this car, and the cool thing about this car is they've just built one of it. So it's a one-of-one. And afterwards, when they showed the car, a lot of people, they loved it. They really wanted to buy and have and own this car. But unfortunately, Maybach, they just didn't want to build a coupe Maybach. So this was the only coupe back in the days. So what Stoller did back in the days is, on base of the 57S, I guess, they built another concept car, actually car, which they wanted to sell, as they've seen the car gaining so much popularity. So what they did is they built the Falcon Coupe with a Brabus modified V12 engine, and unfortunately the car was super ugly, so no one really liked it, and it was not a successful story as it is with the Excelero. Something very funny is that this car was actually part of Jay-Z's music video back in 2009 to The Lost One. His music track was super cool to see that car in public, and Jay-Z actually driving that exact car here. But now let's start with the walk around, the tour of the car. Will be showing you all the details, and this car, I'm telling you, is full of highlights. It's just one of the most precious cars, and it's on my top list of picks of cars I always wanted to film. At this point, again, special thanks to the National Auto Museum here for letting me film at the exhibition, and we'll be having a closer look now. As I mentioned, we have a V12 bi-turbo engine here. It's a Maybach specific engine. It's actually the same AMG engine they used back in the days. We have a lot of features that we only have with this car. For example, here we have the headlights. Back in the days, imagine 2005, we had these xenon LED headlights here with the Maybach details. It's so special. In the front you can also see the Maybach essentials, everything finished in chrome. The Maybach specific grille back then is just absolutely stunning. And the way they shaped the car, I mean, the long bonnet here in the front with the two-door, and the way they just shaped the car is just so special. Just look at the side profile of it. We have some super special wheels on this one, as you can see, the Maybach Exelero specific ones, and also by the tires, you can see these are Fulda tires. Pretty cool. It's 315 25 ZR23, so 23 inches here. You can even see the brakes sitting in the back, and imagine back in the days with 23 inches they did a high-speed record run of 350 kph. We have the V12 bi-turbo badge here on the side finished in red, and then we have the side mirrors. The way they did this is just outstanding. It's so beautiful. The shapes here, the way the overall look, the design is just so special. For example, this Fulda petrol cap, you can see that here is full finished in aluminum. Looks so nice the way they finished this here, also with the details. We'll be telling you more about the inside in a second. Again, 23 inches here in the back. Unfortunately, Maybach never built these wheels. They look absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the shape, the design here. Unfortunately, we've never seen a stock version of these. This car actually comes with side pipes. You can see that. Really cool. So there's no exhaust sitting in the back. We have side pipes here and the sound is amazing. We'll be starting up the car as well for you later on. So let me now tell you more about the rear of this, because this looks also very unique. For some of you guys, you don't really liked the rear when I showed you the video, but I have to say it's very special and very unique. A lot of Maybach characteristics and design highlights here. We have the Maybach badge, the Excelero badge as well here, and as you can see, it's still a concept car. This car was back then, yeah, they showed it I think at the IAA. They had some special events for this, but more or less it was actually forgotten back then, and then Fulda actually sold it, and now it's here owned by the National Auto Museum. You can see the taillights here, they look so special, the way they just shaped these. Very cool. Huge fan of it. I really love it. And there's also quite a few things that I have to mention in the inside as well. Before we jump in the inside, right behind this car we have this car here. If you want to have a separate video of this one, please share it in the comment section below. Let me just walk the other way around, because this one is actually based on the same base as we have with the Excelero. It's the 57S model, but it's a coupe. So this car was actually inspired by the Excelero. I mean, back in the day, so many people wanted to have a Maybach. So there was a company called Senatec. Senatec took the 57S and built two-door versions of it this year. Also almost identical spec-wise with the Excelero. Also super special. I really loved it. And they actually want to build up to 100 vehicles, but I think they only did 10 or something. So it's a very special and exclusive car. There's also quite a few cars that are full of history. For example, Gaddafi, he also bought one. This car was never ever delivered to him, but maybe we'll tell you that in a separate video. Let's focus on the Excelero and on the inside. So before we jump right inside, these are actually the keys of the Excelero here with the Maybach badging. It's super basic, but back in the days, 2005, we're talking about these times. This was already special. We will be jumping right inside as a big honor for me. If you want to open up the door of the Maybach Exelero, all you gotta do is push this to the inside and then lift the door open. Unfortunately, you can't really fully open the door. That's the max you can go. As I mentioned, it's just a one-of-one car, so there's quite a few things that aren't usual. This is the inside of the Maybach Exelero, as I mentioned, based on the 57S. So we have quite a few highlights, just copy-pasted from the 57S, such as the center console or the dashboard. All the displays kind of look familiar. In the entrance board, you can see we have the Fulda Exelero badging here with the carbon fiber finish, and the entire entrance board is just humongous. The inside we have a lot of red details. The full interior is finished in black leather, and we have these racing seats with the, I think, 5-pointed seat belts. It's just so special the way they did it. Imagine we have a Maybach race car here. It's just so special. Let me just jump right inside and show you more of this, okay? Honestly, it's a dream coming true for me to be sitting right inside this car here. I mean, imagine. We had some very, very popular people taking place here. For example, Klaus Ludwig or Jay-Z. And I am also one of these guys. Oh, it's so special, honestly. Let me just show you more of the inside. First things first, the door panel here. The door itself is humongous. I'm telling you, covered in full leather, a lot of carbon fiber details here, also with the red carbon fiber finishing here. And we even have a cup holder right over there. And let me just close the door and give you a full look. There we go. I'm actually limited with the space, but anyways, it feels like heaven inside. It's a dream coming true for me. Steering wheel is finished in this two-tone leather finish with the red and black leather. Also the airbag cover with the Maybach specific badging. We have a few buttons here on the steering wheel, which wasn't usual for back in the days. 2005, having buttons on the steering wheel was very special. We have this center display here where you had the navigation, the map, could connect your phones, whatever, or just put a CD inside. On the left hand side you can see you can put up the window up and down, or the right one, the ESP. And the way they just put it, it's so awkward but still special. You can see the comfort and sport button, the suspension button, ESP off button. The way they just placed it here vertically makes absolutely no sense, but design wise it does. So cool, honestly. We have the AC menu right over here, and then we have the shift knob, the automatic obviously with the park, reverse, neutral, and the driving. You can also shift it by pushing it to the right or left side, pushing it down. You can see also with the Maybach badging here, a lot of carbon fiber details in the inside. Full leather trim here, feels so special. And then something very cool is that with every Maybach Exelero, with this Maybach specific Exelero, there's actually one of one. There's no other car out there. It came with two helmets, you can see. So you had this specific place for your helmet, and yeah, just look into the rear. It's just so much space, so much light. Unfortunately, we don't have the sunroof or something. It's fully covered here on top, but yeah, all in all, it's just so special. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I really did it. We will be starting up the car in a minute, and then we will be listening to the exhaust. As I mentioned, we have a V12 bi-turbo engine here. The sound is perfect since we have the side pipes. So it's time to listen to the sound. Let's go. So now starting up the Maybach Exelero. We have no start-stop button. We have the physical key here. 3, 2, 1. You have the exhaust sitting right next to you. That's so special, honestly. Let's rev it just a bit. Amazing. How do you guys like the sound?